Hello, I'm very excited to be here in Jaguar Land Rover headquarters in the UK and joined by Jack Lambert and John Harris. Castrol and JLR have had a great partnership for many years, forging ahead with improved performance lubricants for the latest powertrain technologies and new innovations from JLR. I and my team have lots of connection points across Jaguar Land Rover, and we work seamlessly to bring new lubricants and fluid technologies to market together. I'm particularly interested to hear Jaguar Land Rover's hybrid story and the role that new technologies, new innovations will play in our shared goal of sustainability. Joining me here in the working environment of JLR are John and Jack. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi Rebecca, my name's Jack Lambert. I'm Research and Innovation Manager for JLR Motorsport, so I have the privilege of looking after the team that links our technical development within our motorsport programs with our road-going vehicle development here at Gaydon.
Very exciting job.
Thanks, Jack. Hi, Rebecca. I'm John Harris. I'm Chief Engineer in our propulsion team, and my responsibilities cover the core engine, the combustion engine, the transmission, including the electrified transmissions, and the power electronics that goes alongside our hybrid products. So really pleased to spend some time with you today and discuss some topics around our strategy and importantly, hybrids.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing some of the innovations that have come through your team. Thank you for the time. So before we get into the incredibly exciting work that we've done together, I'd love to know a bit more about JLR's strategy overall and how your work supports that ambition.
At a high level, back in February 2021, we announced a new corporate strategy, which we've termed the reimagined strategy for JLR. At a high level, that puts us to a position where we're targeting a completely carbon net zero position by 2039. And that's covering our supply chain, the products we make, and of course the operations for our factories and our design centres like we are in today, everything heading towards that carbon net zero perspective. And a part of that, the circular economy, to get more recycling, reuse into our products is a clear area where we've been collaborating already, and there's lots more that we can do together with BP Castrol. As part of that, we're targeting a zero tailpipe position from 2036. And that's a big part of our role towards the carbon net zero perspective. And our hybrid products play a very important role in that journey, particularly our plug-in hybrids. We're seeing a really enhanced sales perspective, a demand from the market in the UK, in Europe, and in fact in all markets, now considering hybrids as a very important stepping stone towards the full electrified products that the automotive industry will ultimately move towards.
That's great.
Jack, I don't know whether you want to add a few things on that
Sure.
From your side?
Thanks, John. So I think if we look at motorsport as a topic, motorsport has always played a role in bringing technology to life and advancing it ready for application into road-going vehicles. And actually, we've seen that reflected perfectly with Formula E. Jaguar Land Rover took the position to rejoin motorsport after a 12-year hiatus in 2015 with Jaguar, an amazing sort of re-entry for the brand back into motorsport, but actually into a motorsport that was really emerging at that time, and that's Formula E. If we go back to that sort of point in time, I think across the market, across automotive, we didn't really know what direction we would go in as towards the future of technology. We had to take a leap in one direction, and Formula E allowed us to do that in electrification. If we look at where we are now, we're 3 generations of car, 10 years, not a very long time in terms of motorsport maturity, but the focus of the industry has shifted towards electrification, and Formula E has allowed us to do that at pace for the Jaguar brand. And then when we look at it from our relationship as Jaguar Land Rover, Jaguar TCS Racing and Castrol, we have Castrol as an amazing partner since 2020, official lubrication partner for the program. And what we're able to do is use our I-Type 6 race car, now I-Type 7, as an innovation lab on wheels. So working collaboratively with John and the teams that are looking at what that hybrid electrification strategy might be, we can feed in what we're doing in pure electrification with Formula E into that, and that also encompasses all of our partnerships. So actually the recipe is really there to do more and more and more through motorsport as a very fast-paced platform in a very controlled environment, but a controlled environment that allows us to de-restrict technology. So we can go and do crazy things with our car without the worry that John has in terms of how we get that to market. I feel very privileged that we get to do that, but also we get to really push those boundaries, and all of that learning can come together and working collaboratively with the teams here to bring that to life for our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. We have the same philosophy about the participation in motorsports with the fluids. And I think we've been really pleased with being able to drive innovation in thermal management, both for the battery and the rest of the transmission in Formula E, and being able to bring new cooling technologies to life through racing that is now going to be coming to the road. So great examples, thank you. I don't know, is there more that you would want to tell me about specific innovations in the hybrid technology which have been critical to enabling JLR to deliver that performance that comes with the products and the brands that you sell, whilst also enabling that reduced CO2 emissions that you talked about, John?
We're very proud of the vehicle attributes that we're able to offer our customers, and they're wide spanning. They go right through from the being able to take the cars onto a racetrack for a day to taking the cars around some of the most arduous off-road circuits in the world, including high altitude, low temperature, high temperature in the sand, in the Gulf. So we engineer our products for such a wide base. Those requirements, and when we cascade those into our engineering teams, coupled with the hybrid technology, have given us some key challenges. And at a lubrication level for the engines, but also the electric motors as part of our hybrid and ultimately our BEV platform, our collaboration with BP Castrol has been very important on a development level as we research and ultimately launch those new technologies to the market.
Absolutely. I think we've seen specific new challenges that come into the lubricant for the new hybrid technology. As you know, there's no industry standard for hybrid engine oils, but Castrol have developed our own in-house performance standard, which we call high spec. We've done extensive research for many years. I mean, hybrids have been around for 25 years, right? But including all of the data that we generate with you and the learnings that we have from you in that.
As you rightly say, Rebecca, there are some real challenges because as you use that hybrid, you're moving between electric mode and combustion engine mode. And that means that the engine sees more starts from cold. It doesn't see the sustained high running temperatures of either the oil or the cooling system. And that does give some challenges, both from a condensate management, so that's water vapor within the oil, and also a level of fuel dilution. And making sure that the oil is compatible with this is something that we've worked really well on and will continue to refine. And we're very supportive in this new standard that your vision moves towards.
Thank you. That's great. So I think you talked about sustainability, both talked about sustainability, and one of our shared goals is more circular, doing more with less, more reuse. Others may not know that actually we worked together on the first circular transmission fluid being used in 2023 in Formula E. Do you want to talk a bit about how you tested for that and got the confidence that the performance required in that very high stress racing environment would be delivered?
Yeah, absolutely. So it goes back to what John says about requirements, and the requirements in Formula E as a use case, very, very different and actually a lot more focused than what John and the team deliver to bring our amazing cars to be able to go onto track and then out into the Gulf and tow trailers. What we need to do is we're always about efficiency, because in Formula E, efficiency directly equals performance on track. We have an energy budget that is encased in the battery, and those teams that can make the most of that energy and go the furthest will ultimately come out on top. So efficiency is the number one target for us. Going back to the start of our partnership, we started to explore what is the right fluid to put into our gearbox for Formula E, and working really, really closely, in fact, absolutely hand in hand with the team at Pangbourne and BP Castrol, we were able to identify actually this fluid could take a really big step in efficiency for us. And that's looking at, again, these sort of mechanical behaviors that can enhance the performance of the transmission, i.e. reducing the viscosity of the fluid to reduce windage and churning. Because anything to do with windage and churning in the gearbox is just loss. It's energy being used to move fluid around that's not actually making its way to the tyres. that proved really, really beneficial for us as a team. And actually that fluid has been part of our portfolio for racing now for nearly 3 years. What we then had to look at is that topic of sustainability. Is there anything that we can do as a team that allows us to advance techniques and methods to recover used fluid? Now, again, we come back to the fact that we've got a really closed ecosystem within Formula E. So we've only got 2 cars plus a development car and our customer cars. So actually the total number of vehicles we'll ever run is 5. So we should be able to control the point at which the fluid goes into the gearbox and then comes out of the gearbox and what happens in between. So that's exactly what we've done. We developed a process to recover all of the used fluid from our test activities, our race activities, anything to do when that car is spinning a gearbox, whether it's on a rig or on the track, we're recovering that fluid. And then working back to absolute detailed chemistry process development with Castrol and the team at Pangbourne, we've proven that we can recover the base constituent of that oil. So that re-refined base oil we can get back. And we got it back to the tune of about an 89–90%, which was a really, really excellent number from that first processing. That's almost the easy bit. The hard bit is saying then, we've now got this re-refined base oil, we know it's good, but now we need to prove to ourselves that when we put it into a race car, there's not going to be any performance degradation. And we need to prove that sustainability doesn't have to compromise performance. And we walked that from lab scale testing, so really detailed, really focused lab testing, then into rigs, and then into whole powertrain rigs, so running the gearbox with this new fluid back to back with what would be a virgin product. And then we got this set of results that told us, actually, this is looking really good. We're not seeing any differentiation in performance, in characteristics across both really focused performance testing like qualifying, and then longer durability runs like a full race run or a full season. That then needs to leap from saying we've got it on a rig, we're happy, development space, all good, let's put it into a car and go racing, which we did in 2023, as you say, the Monaco E-Prix. It was a big leap for us as a team to say, okay, we may see an impact to performance here, we don't think we will, but actually the car proved and the fluid proved that it doesn't have to compromise performance. We're now running that in the car. We're 2 seasons on from there, and we're doing more and more development to understand this re-refined base oil, and it's become a mainstay in what we're doing now. So it's a really good proof point of how that closed environment of racing can actually deliver something that gives you a level of confidence to bring it into our customer vehicles, and that's what we'll see now moving towards our new BEV platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great example of the race to road in real life. We were very confident that the performance would be delivered in terms of the transmission fluid performance because we'd already done extensive testing on re-refined base oils across a whole suite of different suppliers and quality levels. But this was the first example in a race environment of a truly circular oil, as you say. And it was great to win a sustainability award on the back of that. And also, really great, Jack, that you mentioned that really hard push on really lowering the viscosity in the e-transmission fluid. We pushed the boundaries for the first time, and then we started to use that in our platform products. And we were leading the market in terms of the low viscosity transmission fluids and the associated fuel economy for some time. So great examples of race to road for both of us. And finally, to wrap things up, I'd like to ask you to talk to me about the next chapter, the next challenges that you see in moving forward on the roadmap for sustainability and the road towards electrified vehicles.
Where we are now with Formula E and where we are with Jaguar TCS Racing shows our commitment. So we are now committed to 2030, which will take us through to the Generation 4 era of Formula E. The trajectory of technology development within Formula E has shown us that actually it's an amazing platform to retain as a program within the business. And actually what it gives us is that sort of, it's not a long-term view when you look at automotive, it's a short-term in terms of it being about 6 years from now. But what it gives us is this ability to invest and work together and drive collaborations, whether that's with our internal teams here at Gaydon or, again, pushing this partnership, the power of partnership with Castrol and others to find the new technology that's going to unlock performance for our road-going vehicles. And actually, I think that commitment from JLR, from Jaguar, to be involved into the future of Formula E shows that it is considered a really core part of our strategy, which for me is massively exciting because it means we can start to look at what the future holds for electrified powertrains and how we bring that learning back into the business.
Great.
the work that Jack's been describing coming out of Formula E, focused around our electric drive units and lubricant for those, will absolutely influence in a big way what we're doing with our next generation of BEV vehicles. So we're due to launch this year and into next our second generation of BEV vehicles, which absolutely pivots from the I-Pace product that we've had in the field for Jaguar. Now, that's on the EDU side. We are also looking at the circular economy of lubricants for combustion engines. And there are some specific challenges, but I can absolutely see a route to get to circa 80% of recovered base oil in those lubricants, which is a fantastic route and a very important part of the route to that 2039 net zero plan that I mentioned earlier. We shouldn't forget that although there is a predicted endpoint to the combustion engine, that actually, although that's 2036, there's at least 10 years of service life that we've got to make sure that our customers have got access to replacement oil in the service environment for a longer period. So that is very much in our minds, and making sure that the work on engine oil is backward compatible for the service market and the products we've got in the field, I see as an important part of the future development that we're working on.
Absolutely. And I think when we think about kind of the park CO2 emission, then that combination of really continuing to drive efficiency, and for our part as Castrol, delivering the fuel economy and the efficiency that's possible through these combustion engines and through the electrified transmission, that's the roadmap and the trajectory that we will follow together. So plenty of exciting things to work on together, I'm sure, still to come. And it's been great. Thank you. Very exciting to hear from you about JLR's strategy to an electrified future and some of the technical innovations that come with that. So great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Rebecca.